I think it's Zune has put the HD in, and I think it's iPhone and iPod Touch have put FM receivers in.
Yes.
So now you can listen to local radio on, as well as all that streaming stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They made that okay too yesterday.
Well, good.
So I mean, there's just no limit to what you can do.
Technology is amazing.
It really is. So
That's why Gary Griffin pulled all his hair out.
And we appreciate all 9 of you who stayed with us instead of going to that new technology.
We have more than 9.
Okay, 13.
13.
8 o'clock straight up at WECL. Good morning. Sunny today and tomorrow. A couple of beautiful days. High today about 82, 83. Tomorrow 85 or so. Looking at 67 right now at WECL. The 8th anniversary of 9/11. It's really funny how this has what this day has become, because for some, and a lot of the emails we're getting this morning, it is still a very emotional day, probably the most emotional, patriotic kind of day of the year, more so than Memorial Day or Veterans Day or 4th of July, any of that. We don't get any response like we get on 9/11 from folks.
This is one of those days that's still fresh in people's mind.
I guess
even
that's
though
it.
It's 8 years ago, the other holidays that meant something at some point to folks of that last generation have now just become a day to get appliances on sale.
This is the patriotic Memorial Day for those of this generation.
Yeah.
And for others, it is a day to volunteer to make America a better place to be in honor of those who have died in 9/11 and died fighting the war since then.
And I hope that trend continues for this day.
I think that's what do they call it? Patriots Day, I think, is the official title for it now.
But it's a day to get out and do some sharing and
it's
helping
really cool.
out in the community, which is good.
They had 5,500 people did this last year in the Low Country alone, the largest number of people in any one city anywhere in the country. Right here last year, we lead the nation.
I don't think this day should ever be marked by being able to go out and buy a refrigerator for half off.
I understand that. And there's a lot of folks felt that way about Memorial Day, but things happen.
Yep.
Meanwhile, let's just make the best of it. They're looking at already they have 6,250 people. The Trident United Way have signed up in advance saying that they are going to volunteer today. Everything from building a ramp at a lady's house because she needs it for her wheelchair to large events. People sending their entire offices over to work for Habitat for Humanity or the Low Country Food Bank with us today starting at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
So whatever you got planned today, just get out and feel good about it. Get out and feel good about it. They're going to be doing the ceremonies. Vice President Biden will be at the Ground Zero ceremony today in New York. The President and Defense Secretary Gates meeting with victims' families at the Pentagon today. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell will be speaking at the Pennsylvania field where United Airlines Flight 93 crashed. So they're covering it all.
And they used to have a local ceremony here at the PAC.
They still are having a ceremony in North Charleston this morning. They're also having one Patriots Point this morning. And I'm sure there are others that we don't know about. But so those are out there as well. So a lot of folks will be at those this morning. Just do something today to make the world a better place in honor of those who died on 9/11. Protecting the population against swine flu has gotten easier. A new study back yesterday says we only need 1 shot instead of 2. That means twice as many people will now be able to get their inoculations with the supply that was limited in the first place. So that's kind of cool. They say kids may still need 2 because they have absolutely no resistance to flu. Adults, they say, will be able to get by with just 1 shot now. So that's a good thing. And it looks like the state GOP is now joining the chorus, asking the governor to resign. The 61 members of the state legislature asked him to resign Wednesday. State House Speaker Bobby Harrell asked him to resign Monday or Tuesday.
He's just not a popular man right now.
Well, he never was. It's like he said in his press conference yesterday, these guys didn't like me before all of this happened.
Yeah.
But I was reelected. The people wanted me up here. There's nothing they could do about it. Now they feel like there's something they can do about it to get me out of the way so they can get through what they want to get through.
Right.
And there are a lot of folks who say nothing will be done in the next 18 months if he stays in office, which, if you think about it, they're going to be looking at trying to find a way to get him out of office while the other half of Columbia is running for his office.
Right.
So it's we probably will get nothing done in this state, regardless, for the next 18 months.
I hope that we can get back to not being a laughing stock.
Yeah, we just keep giving them fodder, man.
I mean,
it's like every week we give them something. Every week we give them something. Don't
that
we?
guy, Joe Wilson or whatever.
Did you see where his son is running for the Attorney General's seat? Since the Attorney General is going to be running for Mark Sanford's seat.
Right. Joe Wilson's son?
Joe Wilson's son, and he's in town this morning doing a speech, getting his campaign off the ground.
I wonder.
Don't you know he called his daddy, huh?
Is he distancing himself from his dad? You think?
I don't know, because I saw there are a lot of people. I mean, that guy's just got an intense amount of popularity.
Yeah, he went from having a few followers on Twitter to having 1,000 in just a few-hour time span yesterday.
There are people who think he's just absolutely the greatest thing that ever happened for what he did, and there are others who absolutely think he's a disgrace. And his opponent, the Iraq War veteran who's running against him for his seat up there in Lexington, got about he got, how would they say, $500,000 in campaign contributions yesterday alone.
And I'm sure that's from, like, national
companies. Guarantee it. But there's still plenty of jokes last night.
Yeah.
About Joe Wilson in South Carolina and the governor and everything else. I just don't see much changing in the next 18 months.
Yeah.
Governor's with us next Tuesday morning, 7:30. We'll talk about all that. 8:05 now at WEZO.
Now, Weasel Time Saver Traffic from the Gerald's Tire and